What's up YouTube, it's TF Collector here, and today I will be reviewing the Transformers Studio Series 06 Voyager class STARSCREAM from the original Transformers movie. So before we take a look at the figure itself, let's take a look at the packaging that he comes in. This was one of my very first Studio Series figures. The 04 Ratchet was my first. This guy was one of my first. I got him from Christmas from my grandma the year Studio Series began, so 2018. But off topic, back to the box. Right up front, we have a picture of STARSCREAM. There he's 06 of Studio Series STARSCREAM, Transformers 8 Plus Hasbro. Transformers down the side, Generations logo there, Takara Tomy logo there. On this side of the box, he's number 6 of Studio Series. There you have a profile image of STARSCREAM. He's Voyager class. On this side, you have that same image of STARSCREAM Zoom Noir out. Authentic logo there. An Autobot logo up there. On the back of the packaging, he is big screen inspired from the Mission City battle of the first Transformers movie. Product images there. He transforms in 26 steps. This is a licensed Lockheed Martin Raptor, and STARSCREAM soars amid skyscrapers with tactical precision to annihilate opponents. We have some other products that were available at the time. 1 Bumblebee, 2 Stinger, 5 Optimus. Reviews for all 3 on the channel. Go make sure you check those out. Backdrop included. We'll take a look at that here in a little bit. On the bottom we have a barcode, and on the top it says Transformers. Now before we can take a look at the figure itself, he does of course include his instruction manual, number 6 of Studio Series STARSCREAM Transformers Voyager class. 8 and up, Transformers Generations logo there. Picture of STARSCREAM there. On the back, licensed Lockheed Martin, F-22 Raptor, Takara Tomy, and Hasbro. Now moving on to the figure itself, I must say that over the years this has become my favorite figure out of the figures that we've checked out thus far here on the channel. But that being said, let's take a look at the details here on this officially licensed F-22 Raptor of STARSCREAM. You have a nice yellowish cockpit there up front. The front isn't really that rubbery. It is kind of sharp, so be careful if you have that. Lots of great molded detailing throughout the entire airplane mode here, or jet rather. You have a Decepticon logo there and a little star logo there, a little logo on both sides. Can't go wrong with that. The back also extremely detailed. You can see they did detail in some thrusters there, which is very nice. The gray paint, while he is silver in the movie, I still think it does the job. Now the top looks just like that, and the bottom looks a little messy, but from a side profile, I really don't think it's that bad. I think they did a great job capturing this jet mode for STARSCREAM here. Now you can see that he does have these landing gears, and these can be folded up. You can just fold the middle one up, you can fold the side one up, and you can fold the other side one up, and you can have STARSCREAM swooshing into battle. And of course, what would a Transformer be without an awesome accessory? And STARSCREAM here includes this missile pod. As you can see, it's done in gray plastic. You have some bronze missiles there with, now these are more of a rubbery, so those aren't going to hurt you. That light gray rubber there, you can see tab there, sticks out a little. Pretty cool looking overall. I like the molded detailing done on it. Now you can see there are 2 slots right there, and that is how this will store in the vehicle mode. You see the 2 tabs there that will just tab right up in there, and you can have that awesomely stored. Now if you don't want to do that, you do have other options. You can see there's ports everywhere and a tab there, so you could plug it there, you could come under here and plug it here, you could come under here and plug it here. You have all kinds of options, but the official way to store it, and the best looking way, is to store it right there on the back. Now, since we haven't reviewed any of the first movie Decepticons yet, I don't think it's necessary to do any comparisons here in jet mode. We will have a few in robot mode, but I say for now we go ahead and transform this guy into robot mode. So the first thing we're going to do is, of course, come back here, remove the weapon, set that off to the side, then we can come under here, flip each of these 3 landing gears up like that, come here to the top, push each of these pieces down. Now before we do that, so you can have a better angle here, now these 2, there is a tab on this one that will go into this one, so you do kind of have to wiggle this out. That way you can get this piece up, because that will be the next step, is to lift this whole centerpiece. So you can see there's a tab there. You kind of want to wiggle that out. Do the same here. Try to wiggle that piece out. You might have to pull this piece up just a tad just to get that out, but usually it doesn't fight with me this much. But of course a camera is on videoing me, so we're going to have a little bit of trouble, of course. What would a review be without a little trouble from the figure? My goodness, if we could get this out. There we go. All right, so we can make sure those are down, and then this, well, it just went back in. There we go. Get those out, and these are also tabbed into these back legs, so just push down on these two pieces as you untab this from the back. You might want to use both fingers. Let's see if we can't get that undone. Holy cow. STARSCREAM, please work with me, son. Please, STARSCREAM. Please. Please. I have never had this problem. In the 6 years I've had this figure, I have never had this problem of this piece not wanting to come up. Holy cow. Let me handle this. And after giving the figure much more stress than it needed to have, and poking myself in the hand, I got that piece up. I have never had that problem. Those two tabs were just tabbed into those two slots very securely and really wanted to give me a problem. But now just raise that piece up, and you can raise these pieces up and swing them out. That is the first time that has ever happened. I am actually kind of shocked that happened, but on to the next step, I suppose. I don't know what else to say about that, but you can now swing these pieces, and of course, why not? This figure is really not backing up what I said earlier. I said it was my favorite figure out of the bunch so far. Now it's just untabbing and falling to pieces. Now, hopefully this part don't fall apart. Grab here and pull this piece up and extend the arm, and then swing the arm out. Come on now, don't you act up with me too. Make sure you have the arm all the way up so you have more clearance to get that out. Now you see that tab will go down in there, and the tab in the hand will tab in to the other side of the shoulder. So just extend this out, extend this up, swing that out like so, and then swing these the rest of the way out, and you can go ahead and bring those arms up and out of the way. Now bring these pieces up and out of the way, and we're going to work on the legs real quick. You can go ahead and split those down the middle. You can see they just tab in there, and swing them out to the side. Now you can pull the feet down. You can see they tab in right there, and you can give him his chicken legs, of course, and pull his toe up to complete the leg. Do the same thing over here. Bring that back. Bring the toe up, and there you have that. As I raise up a little so we can see a little more of what I'm doing, come under here and take this piece and flip it forward, and then take this whole section and put your thumb on his head and push it through. Bring this piece down, bring that all the way around, make sure these arms are all the way out. Bring that down, close that up, and gives you his chest section. Bring the head the rest of the way up, and you can leave that back or push it forward. It's really just a preference thing. Now come under here, flip these pieces out like so. Bring this section up, and you can see there is a slot right there that will go into that tab right there. So just line that up, tab that in, do the same thing on this side. Bring this up, bring it up, line it up, tab it in like so. Bring the arms down and bring the hands down. Bring the arm down, bring the hand down, rotate it to properly orient it. And the last thing that we must do is come here to the back. And you can see these two tabs on this piece that really wanted me to just throw this figure earlier. I'll tab into those two slots there. Make sure you use both of those double hinges down there to bring that piece up, and tab it into the back. And with all that said and done, and after a fight that I've never had to give this figure, there you have STARSCREAM in robot mode. And I must say, after transformation, he looks really good in robot mode. Now, usually I really enjoy this transformation, but today, that one piece just would not come untabbed and really threw me off, and I've never experienced that with this figure. So I'm not going to let it really impact my rating that I give it at the end of the video, because usually this is a really smooth transformation, but that was concerning. I felt like I was going to break the figure. But anyways, let's take a look at the details of STARSCREAM here. Whoa now! You can see up front there that he has a very nicely done head sculpt. You can see the red eyes, gray on the mouth, bronze up here and on the chin. Looks very nice, even though it could have used a little more paint maybe. Even some silver here on the side you get. I think it looks pretty good overall. Nice gunmetal gray there and nice cockpit section here. Nice painting throughout. I like the different grays they use. Some gunmetal gray in there, makes that look good. Some gold and some darker gray. They did a good job of compensating with not using a lot of silver. I was about to say confiscating. Now, they should have used a lot of silver, in my opinion, but that might have brought the budget up. So they did the best they could, and I think they did a pretty good job. Other than the hands, I don't know why they're just this weird gray plastic. But you have some nice detailing all throughout the figure. You have his chicken legs there with some nice gunmetal gray silverish detailing, and the back is as slim as it gets, ladies and gentlemen, as good as it gets. It is flat, it's pretty much non-existent, and you love to see that. Now, of course, a figure is not a figure without a little articulation. That would be a statue. So this guy, of course, does have some. We can bring this piece back in. His head can do a full swivel. I don't think it's on a ball joint, but it can look up due to transformation, which is very nice. Now the shoulders, you have a transformation hinge right here that you can use to bring the arms up and down, and they can do full 360s, and they can do full 360s. Here you have double jointed elbows, so you can bring it up there, and then you can bring it up there. You can get full range out of the elbow. You can also bring it backwards if you want to break his arm. Why not? And the hands are on ball joints, so they can rotate. They can go in and out. They can do all kinds of stuff, which is very nice. Nothing at the waist, unfortunately, just due to the design. They didn't really, you can't really rotate it, even if they did put a waist joint there, because that would break the nose of that cockpit there. So that is unfortunate, but not the end of the world, even though it would be nice. The legs can kick forward that high, they can kick back that far, they can kick out all the way. He can do a full split if you want him to. You do have a couple joints down here. You have a pivot, no, not a pivot, rather a hinge there, a hinge there. The toes can move due to transformation, and that is the articulation you get. Overall, not very bad. I think he moves pretty well for a Voyager class figure, all things being considered. And of course, we can talk about this accessory that he includes. There are a couple options you can do here. If you don't want him to hold it, you can plug it here on the back, or you can plug it here on the back. If you do want him to wield it a different way, you can plug it here on the back of the arm. But the official way and the screen accurate way is to take the wrist, flip that around, bring that up on the double hinge, tab it in like you did for transformation, rotate the arm, and then use these two tabs right here to go into those two slots right there. Just slide that in, and you can use that higher joint there on the elbow to get some very nice missile poses. Now for a couple quick other Studio Series comparisons. Here is Bumblebee with, no, rather Starscream with 01 Bumblebee there. You can see Bumblebee comes right about the waist, maybe a little higher if he was standing straight up. Here he is with another movie 1 Autobot that he fought in the movie. Here he is with 04 Ratchet. They had a really cool battle in the movie. Ratchet, of course, taller than Bumblebee, comes up a little higher than the waist. Would be about shoulder height standing straight up. And finally, I figured, why don't we put the wave mates side by side? So here he is with Studio Series 05 Voyager Optimus, who does not like to stand for some reason. Now, Optimus is, of course, down a little bit because his knees are bent. But if you had him standing straight up, Starscream would still be a little bit taller there. And before I give you my final thoughts on STARSCREAM here, we of course have to talk about the display base that is unfortunately being discontinued with future Studios Series waves. But as you can see there, he is number 6 of the Studios Series. You have the Mission City battle going on there in the background. Transformers 2007 logo there, authentic Transformers up the side. And you can use this as a very cool diorama to display your STARSCREAM figure. So there you have my review for the Transformers Studio Series 06 Voyager class STARSCREAM from the Transformers 2007 movie. And overall, I am a really big fan of this figure. I think that the licensed Raptor from Lockheed Martin looks really good when he is transformed into his alt mode. I think that the robot mode is very reminiscent of what you see in the 2007 movie. My only complaint with this figure is that I really wish that the paint on this figure had been all silver like they did with the later released number 54 Megatron. They give him an all silver paint scheme and it looked really good, and I feel like that would have looked really good on this guy too, but perhaps with the budget they had to work with for this figure that wasn't possible. But he is also a slight retool, remold of a previous Transformers Dark of the Moon 2011 deluxe figure, which makes me think that they might have had a little more budget to work with, so they might have cheaped out on us a little here, giving us the gray paint job, but they did the same thing with the MPM, so maybe STARSCREAM just requires too much silver. Now, I'm not going to let that little fluke in the transformation earlier affect my rating for this figure. I have not had that problem at all in the last 7 years of owning this figure. I have never had that problem, and I've transformed this guy so many times I can't even count. I don't know, I guess the camera was on, it decided to act up and didn't want to untab. I've never had that problem before, and it was frustrating, and it probably looked very silly in the video, but things happen. I'm not going to let that affect my rating of the figure as a whole. And speaking of my rating for this figure, I think that so far out of the figures we have checked out on this channel, this is definitely the best overall figure. It looks good in vehicle mode, robot mode. Transformation is usually very fluent. It wasn't today for whatever reason, but usually it is. And that leads me to want to give this guy a 9 out of 10. I really like this figure. I think that might be a higher rating than some people would give this figure, but I really like the figure overall, so I think it deserves a 9 out of 10, personally. Now, of course, you can form your own opinion. If you have this figure, let me know what you think about him in the comments down below. And with that being said, that is my continuation of this journey through the Studio Series line with Transformers Studio Series 06 Voyager class STARSCREAM from the Transformers 2007 movie. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you check out the playlist with all the Studio Series reviews. And like, share, subscribe. Really helps the channel, and it'll really help the quality of future videos and the figures that we get to review on this channel. And I'll see you guys with number 7, who is Blackout. Gonna be a very, very long video probably, but we will get through it, and I'll see you then. Peace.